Are you good? Okay. And Jenny, are you all set? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get logged in here. Is it the same information as it was yesterday? Yeah, can you give me the thing?
Pages? That's just like 3.
Thank you. All right, the court is on the record in 21 CR 2296, People of the State of Colorado versus Stacy Rodriguez. Ms. Rodriguez appears today with counsels Ms. Devereaux and Ms. Trujillo. Mr. Peraley and Mr. McCormick appear today for the state. We come on for day 8 of jury trial, and we are outside of the presence of the jury. Before I brought Ms. Varela back up, I just wanted to make sure there weren't any issues that we needed to address outside of her presence. Anything? That's okay. Anything from the defense before we resume?
Yes, Judge. We received additional discovery yesterday afternoon through, I guess, Miss Lilly had given the prosecution some more information. I'm assuming from what her team had investigated back in 2022 is what it sounds like. I believe it's related to potential 404B that we had dealt with yesterday. We received a memo including some photos that were taken by their defense investigator in 2022. It appeared that some photos might be missing from that, but also we received a snippet, essentially a few paragraphs in quotes from a supposed report. I'm assuming it was from a larger report about an interview that was done with Hannah Varela, who I think kind of maybe might be a witness to some of this 404B. So based on Rule 16, I believe that Ms. Lilly has essentially investigated this case. She's participated in the investigation or the evaluation of the case as defined in Rule 16 and has reported it to the district attorney's office. So I do believe that the district attorney is now essentially has control over these reports. We would be asking for the full report. It includes a witness statement. So I think Rule 16 is pretty clear that we should be able to have all witness statements, especially if we're discussing this 404B issue. I would note.
Are you arguing essentially that Ms. Lilly is in the same position as a law enforcement agency?
I'm arguing that she is now.
Okay.
I'm looking at Rule 16. It's subsection 3 under Part 1 states the prosecution's obligations under this Section A, which is what I'm citing in regards to witness statements, extend to material and information in the possession or control of. Sorry, I apologize. Information in the possession or control of members of his or her staff or of any others who have participated in the investigation or evaluation of the case. It does say who either regularly report, however, it does say, or with reference to the particular case have reported to his or her office. This is now the second time throughout this trial that Ms. Lilly has reported to the prosecution. The first time had happened last week when our investigator had gone up and approached Hannah Varela and asked her a question. Ms. Lilly then went to Ms. Hannah Varela, and we received this in discovery as well, where Ms. Lilly wrote her a note and said, what did the defense investigator talk to you about? And then Hannah Varela wrote this note back. I do understand that there is a sequestration order. I think that might be an issue to flesh out later once we receive this larger report from 2022. I understand that Ms. Varela is here as her client is testifying, so there might be some Fifth Amendment concerns, and I understand the ability for her to be in the courtroom for that. However, when she spoke with Ms. Varela, Hannah Varela, this was prior to Ms. Lilly's record yesterday that the prosecution had called her off of her subpoena. My understanding is Ms. Lilly had put on the record yesterday in front of the court that we might need to take a break or something along the lines at 3 p.m. as she needed to go watch another prelim of a co-defendant. And at that point, she said the prosecution had just called her off of her subpoena. So Ms. Lilly is sitting in court, appears to be listening to the testimony and then providing investigation based on that, and specifically only gave us a snippet of an entire witness that she then gave the prosecution yesterday. So pursuant to Rule 16, we are asking for the entire report from their investigator in regard to this Nissan Altima, Nissan Rogue car accident back in March of 2022 is when they had investigated it.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Pralia, can you tell me when you received this information and when you turned it over?
We received it yesterday at 2:38 p.m. while in court, and provided it in person after the break and then through e-discovery within that hour. Make further record if the court needs. It has always been the intention, I guess, since the court had said we need to pick and choose who would sit in court and who would be available as a potential witness between Miss Lilly and Mr. Coleman, that for purposes of being present in court for her client, that Miss Lilly would be present and would discuss anything that she needed to. I know their investigator is present. Again, not subpoenaed as a witness. I think their interest towards their client remains. They're still on the case as active attorneys and investigators. I received the information, I turned it over. It's not my intention to admit these photos at this point. I can tell the court that I'm gonna just generally talk about the 404B events altogether and move on.
All right, thank you. So I am going to deny the request as it's framed as a discovery request. I would note that earlier this week, the Supreme Court announced in re People v. Silva Jaquez, cited as 25 CO 11. As indicated in that court, the court has no freestanding authority to order discovery in a criminal case beyond what is provided by constitutional provision, statute, or rule. Nothing in Rule 16 contemplates a court being able to order a district attorney's office compel a private citizen to turn over materials. Rule 16 specifically references other governmental personnel. It does not appear that Ms. Lilly meets that criteria, so I don't find that the court has the authority to grant the relief requested. Anything else from the defense before we bring the Ms. Varela back up?
Yes, just for clarification, I guess, how is the court distinguishing Ms. Lilly when she's actively investigating the case and providing that information to the district attorney during trial while her client is testifying?
She's not a law enforcement person. She's not a government personnel.
The Rule 16 says that the individual must be inserting themselves into the investigation. Is the court finding that Ms. Lilly is not inserting herself into the investigation?
Quote me that language from 16?
Yes. The prosecuting attorney's obligations under the Section A extend to material and information in the possession or control of members of his or her staff or any others who have participated in the investigation or evaluation of this case, and to either regularly report or, with reference to the particular case, have reported to his or her office.
So I don't see that she's participated in the investigation just because she has material. I don't think she's tasked with investigating this case, so I don't find that she's covered by Rule 16. So I'm going to deny that request. All right. Anything else from the defense before I bring up Ms. Varela?
No.
Anything from the state?
No.
All right. We'll bring up Ms. Varela and we'll resume.
Can the court tell me, have we admitted 212 then?
We've conditionally admitted it, and I don't think we've re-referenced it since then.
Okay, I'll formally admit it then.
And have you, I don't think, from the defense, have you seen the copy after it's been redacted? Just to confirm that it's consistent with the court's order regarding redaction. What's that? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We addressed that issue. I'm sorry. I forgot.
And I was saying yesterday that Hosanna's probably going to be back on the stand first thing. She was on the stand all day yesterday. So this is a lot for her.
I do think there is an issue we need to take up. I apologize, I just remembered it.
All right. Go ahead.
Your Honor, I would ask for a contemporaneous instruction from the court regarding this 404B evidence, that it be a limiting instruction. I apologize. I meant to write it last night and was doing other things. If the court wants, I can type something up really quickly, but I would be requesting a contemporaneous limiting instruction before the jury hears all of this 404B evidence.
And can you give me just the sort of the general character of it, and then I'll review whatever you type up, but just so that we can discuss it now before you do.
I mean, I think that's more of a question for Mr. Correlia, but I think the limiting instruction should say something along the lines of it cannot be considered in terms of propensity, bad character, and it can only be considered for the very limited purpose of the reason why the court's letting this in, which is why she didn't go to the police after the events of October 2nd and October 3rd.
And Mr. Praley, can you give me the state's position?
I think the court has let it in for a purpose or multiple purposes. I can decide on what that pertains to. I do think it goes to her state of mind, her fear, the context of the relationship at the time of the event, and the history of abuse.
Can you guys just quickly confer to see if you can agree on language on that instruction and then email it over? And if you can't agree, then we'll address the dispute, so.
I got tied up with other things last night, so I apologize.
No, I understand. I'll give you a couple minutes here to confer, and if you can agree on language.
So it's DO2.
Well, this was a good morning, I guess, to be a little bit late for me. Yeah, I was talking with YouTube customer support, if that's what you want to call it, for over an hour. And I had gotten in the shower, didn't even get to dry off my hair, and then I was placed on hold with them. And it took forever. And then I'm like, it's time. It's already time to get on for this. And I wish I would have known that this is what was going to be happening, because I wouldn't have been running around like a crazy person for 30 minutes, but got everything done that I needed to. Almost everything squared away with YouTube, so I'm happy that I was able to get some of that time in. Don't forget, if you are watching the Monica trial with us, they have a half day today. It is not surprising. I don't think the trial is ever going to end. Not really. I think it will end Friday. We'll be closing arguments. That's been my guess. But the trial itself could have been done a long time ago. Christopher Austin, I think will be back on the stand first thing for that trial. And then knowing that it's a half day today, it'll be interesting to see if Robert Baker is called or not.
Yes, if you could, please.
You want it as a Word doc or just copy and paste?
Well, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah, DO2.
And I'm sorry, Ms. Devereaux, what was your question?
Do you want me to email it in a Word document for the appellate purpose, or do you want me to just copy and paste it into an email?
So whatever you send me with the instruction, we'll upload for the appellate record. So if it's just an email, that would probably include
Okay.
email addresses and such. So if you don't want that necessarily included as part of the record, a document would be better.
You may not consider it for any other reason.
Right.
So I'm just saying, stick with the DO2 language.
Is that right, Sonia? Document would be better.
If you just track the language and say it's for the limited purpose of failure to report, I'm fine with it. But I just want it to be the Colby language. Like I'm saying, I want to take out.
I'm working on it. I'll just copy and paste it.
Gotcha.
My mic's off, sorry. I'm just refreshing and doing different
Everything
things,
is
so when they do start, we'll be ready.
Trying to open my email.
Sure.
The judge is hoping that the two lawyers can agree to a few things before the trial starts, because otherwise it would delay the start even more. So hopefully they can get it worked out.
Let me put one additional thing on the record, Judge.
Go ahead.
As to the car incident, we were provided photos. There's a variety of discussions of cars throughout these 404B incidents. To be clear, there's an incident where she's like chased at a park. There's another incident where like this car is hit. That's where the photos are. I'm not
Your
going.
Honor, I'm going to be objecting to Ms. Varela hearing this, so if we can need to approach, that's fine, but I don't believe it's proper for her to hear about these prior DV incidents and the prosecution's account of them before she testifies to them.
All right. Go ahead and come up and let's get this figured out.
That's fine. I really just need Miss Lily, well, that's fine.
So I'm not going to have my mic on for too long while we're waiting because my other computer is overheating and working it too hard so you can hear its fan. But yeah, today's going to be interesting because clearly this is not starting on time. The Cementelli trial starts at 12:30 unless they're late, and then it will be 1 o'clock. And they do a half day with that. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to fit in with both of these. Usually by this point, testimony's already been going. We're pretty involved in whatever's happening. And we now have like an hour and 15 minutes to be on this one, and they haven't even started it. So it will be interesting. I started looking around to see if there was anybody in the courtroom today for the Cementelli trial, just to see if we could find out who might be taking the stand today. Like I said, Chris Austin most likely is again, but I wasn't sure who they might try to fit in to this window of time. They mentioned yesterday about one of the women who had an affair with Robert Baker, and that is who I heard will be testifying. So if that's the case, supposedly the defense is going to be calling her. So maybe it will be her today instead of the defense calling Baker. But it hasn't officially switched over to the defense's turn yet. We are still with the prosecutors. So after Chris's time on the stand, I think that's when it will be defense's turn to call. Were we given a year for how much time she might get knocked off by doing this? I know that we were told a plea deal. Maybe they hadn't decided yet. Maybe it's literally, let's see how you do and we go from there. I was talking with somebody either yesterday or the day before, and we were talking about how law and crimes chats can get very vicious. And they were this morning waiting for this one. People are very hardcore about how they feel. I've also decided that I think it will take, looking at Monica today, it will take me 1 second to figure out if she knows if Robert will be there today or not. If she walks into that courtroom and is wearing a bright outfit or anything to stand out from what she has been wearing, she knew he was coming and she got dressed up. I'm just gonna put it out there. I cannot wait to see what she decides to do with her emotions. If she's gonna act like she hates him, if she's not gonna be able to fake how much she misses him. It's gonna be so interesting. And still no word if they've been talking, like even up till this point. We don't know what the end date, if there was even an end date. They could still be together. And then I was thinking about this too, but this was towards the end of yesterday. But Monica had said that in one of her phone calls with him that she tied a string or tied something around her ring finger. And I thought he said he did something similar, but then I was like, oh, I should be watching for this. We really haven't been able to see her hands too much, but I'm going to be watching for when he's in that courtroom if she has anything on her fingers.
All right. Anything else that we need to address before we bring the jury in?
No.
Okay. And anything from the defense before we bring the jury in?
Can I just have a moment? He just handed me
Sure.
something.
Oh, and I'm sorry. Have you guys emailed the instruction over yet?
No, I just got my,
Okay. So I need the instruction before you bring them out. So
There'll be one thing before it, so as long as it gets emailed within the next.
can you email it? My Outlook's not working. I just changed it to, can you email it to her? Thanks.
I don't like how bad their quality is right now, but it's not really something I can help. It's on their end. I'm going to do this, but I don't think it matters. I'll always sit here and wait for them to actually start.
So I have.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
I have single Q from MM inclusive, and then there's a gap, and then you introduced QQ A and B. As far as this might not make any sense, but I'll. So here's what I don't have admitted in terms of the order. I don't have A, B, or C. I have D. I do not have A through H. I do have I through M. I do not have N, O, or P. And then as I've stated, I have Q through double M. And then I don't have anything else until QQ, A, and B.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Did you get that email?
It's right there.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Pralia, it sounds like this is an agreement. You agree with this language?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I'm going to rely on the parties to tell me when they want me to read that. So just let me know when it's an appropriate time to read this instruction.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Let's go ahead and bring the jury in. All right, thank you. Please be seated. Ms. Varela, since we're beginning a new day, I'm going to swear you in again. Will you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Mr. Pralia, you may resume.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, you were asked extensively about incidents where you and Ms. Rodriguez were actually apart during the time period after the murder and prior to your arrest,
Yes.
right? I'm going to approach with what's been marked as People's Exhibit 232, previously shown to defense.
232? All right.
Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
And what is that?
It's a screenshot of Stacy's messages that I screenshotted.
Okay.
And
Would that have been on your iCloud, ma'am?
yes.
And do you see in that metadata on the right side of that it deals with October 22nd, 2021?
Yes.
Is it fair and accurate?
Yes.
Do you recognize what's in it?
Yes.
And can you just generally describe what it is?
She's at my kids' dad's house. She took a picture of it. I could see his car and the house. I recognized it.
Okay. If we could move to admit and publish 232 at this point?
Any objection to 232?
No.
All right, the court will admit into evidence states 232, and you may publish at your discretion.
All right, ma'am. Up at the top, we see that it says Stacy.
Yes.
Who's that referring to?
Stacy. That was her contact in my phone.
Okay. Is that the defendant?
Yes.
And then what does it say, ma'am, to the best of your ability to read it?
It says, Hosanna, please. And then it says, answer or is Javi. And then she says, I'm telling you right now, it's me or Javi's going to do with it. I think she meant deal with it. She's like, so where are you at?
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Ms. Varela, if you'll just read what's on there.
She's, and then it says, so WYA,
What does that stand for?
where are you at?
Okay.
And then she's like, I'm picking you up. And then there's a picture of her outside Javi's house. And then she said, hurry up.
Okay. I think we can take that down at this point. Now might be a good time to read the limiting instruction.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I have one instruction for you before we receive additional testimony. The evidence you are about to hear is being presented for the limited purpose of failure to report the crimes prosecuted in this matter only. You may not consider it for any other reason. All right, Mr. Pralia, go ahead and continue.
All right. Ma'am, to be clear, when you initially testified, you had discussed being scared
Yes.
of telling the police or anything like that.
Yes.
And you were cross-examined as to that. And now, ultimately, you're able to provide a basis of your fear. Is that fair to say?
Right.
In your proffer interview on June 8th, 2022, do you recall stating a variety of assaults that had occurred to you?
Yes.
Okay. And a variety of injuries that had happened to you at the hands of Stacy?
Yes.
To your lips, to your face, to your eye?
Yes.
Dealing with the Kayleen
Objection
aspect?
leading.
I'll allow this question to sort of frame the witness as to the topic, but Mr. Pralia, once you have that so framed, I'd ask that you mind the manner of your questions.
I understand. For a variety of injuries to lips, face, eyes, others.
Yes.
Injuries to others of what you had witnessed, for example, Kayleen,
Yes.
who we've referred to as Isaiah, correct?
Yes.
Incidents dealing with cars that have been used against you
Yes.
at the use by the defendant.
Yes.
And Mr. Pralia, I think the witness is sufficiently oriented as to the topic, so again, just mind the manner of your questioning.
Okay. Did you also tell Detective Burrows about an incident dealing with a knife that was put to you?
Yes.
Did you detail the time period of when your first fight happened to it continuing after the assault?
Yes.
Did you detail incidents with the defendant using her weight on you and others?
Yes.
And ultimately, ma'am, you discussed yesterday in questions to the defense that there was an escalation in abuse after Mr. Dickerson's death.
Yes.
Specifically, you noted that there was an incident with a knife.
Yes.
Can you outline that again for the jury?
Objection, asked and answer. This is bolstering. She's already described this.
All right, I'll overrule the objection.
You can answer, ma'am.
I remember that night we were fighting and she had gotten on top of me, and I remember her pouring water or alcohol all over me. I just remember being wet, and she pulled out a knife and she put it up to my neck and she cut off all my clothes, and she said if I ever talked to my kids' dad again, she was gonna kill him. And so she made me lay there naked and she told me to go to sleep.
Okay. Now, you testified to that yesterday.
Yes.
You've testified to that today.
Yes.
Did you tell that to Detective Burrows during your proffer interview back in June of 22?
Yes.
Did you also write about it in your phone?
Yes.
Ma'am, there was the discussion about you never bringing up Joker or Baby Joker, and that you had never discussed anything whatsoever about Stacy having any gang connections. Do you recall that line of questioning?
Yes.
Do you recall an incident during the proffer interview where you were discussing that after the homicide, you had heard Stacy talking on the phone where she was whispering and you weren't certain who she was talking to or what she was talking about?
Yes.
And do you recall saying, throughout our relationship, she was associated with these people, I don't know, like her gang she was associated with?
Yes.
All right. If I can now approach with what's been conditionally admitted as 212, which is 3 pages. You can take a moment to look at that, ma'am. Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
And what is it?
They're my notes that I had put in my phone.
Okay. Are they fair and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to formally admit 212 with permission to publish.
All right, and Ms. Devereaux, I'm considering all previous objections maintained. Is there anything additional as to 212?
Nothing additional, thank you.
All right, thank you. I will admit into evidence states 212, and you may publish at your discretion.
All right. Hopefully we can zoom in. Well, all right. Ma'am, would this be, I know it's a little cut off because the left, would this be note number 1?
Yes.
All right. And to be fair, there's a screenshot or an image. It's IMG 1297.png.
Yes.
Okay. And did you, I guess, have a habit of screenshotting certain conversations and then attaching them or sending them?
Yes.
Okay.
I would attach them to my notes. And
Okay. And so in this first aspect, can you describe what it says first off?
it says, if only you know I have to stay laying low because of what happened. Stacy's truck is hot. They're looking for it. And having my kids inside is putting them in danger. Being out in public is putting them in danger. I can't be home right now.
Okay. And that's from October 13th, 2021, below that?
Yes.
Okay. And then if we could scroll down to 2, a couple days later on October 17th, if you could read that to the jury.
I feel trapped, like I'm screaming and no one can hear me. I feel as if I'm in an igloo and I'm running in circles trying to get out. I'm scared to leave her. I can't be by myself for more than an hour. I want to be with my kids. I want to hang out with Javi, but I can't. She told me, if you go with anyone else, it's not just on you anymore, it's on them too. So choose wisely who you'll be with. And I believe her because I've seen what she can do. I need help, but I'm scared. She won't leave me alone. She won't. I'm sorry, Javi. I'm sorry to my kids. Please know that I love you. Please don't ever forget that.
Okay, ma'am. A few clarifying questions about this. You had specifically put that she told me, and then you quote, who is she?
Stacy.
Okay. And then you said, if you go with anyone else, it's not just on you anymore, it on them too, so choose wisely who you'll be with, end quote. And then the part after that, you said, and I believe her because I've seen what she can do. In the body of this, it's stating that this is from October 17th, 2021.
Yes.
So that would be exactly 2 weeks after this homicide.
Yes.
The homicide you witnessed.
Yes.
When you describe that you've seen what she can do,
Yes.
what are you referring to?
I was there when she killed him.
Okay. Scrolling down to October 3rd, is that fair that you just write that in the body, but there's not actually something attached at that point, like you had started it?
Right.
Okay. If we could scroll down to 4. All right, ma'am. Can you read us the note on November 2nd, 2021, that is note 4 on Exhibit 212?
Yeah. I said, I feel so alone right now. All my emotions are bottled up. I feel like it can't be my own person. I'm always being watched, followed, controlled, to the point I can't even look in a certain direction. Stacy has threatened Javi's life so many times where she told them to do it, to actually do it. I'm so torn and hurt. I'm scared to even move a finger because of one wrong move, she'll do it. And it's not a threat because I've seen her do it with my own eyes. She's keeping me from having my kids 24/7 because when I want to pick them up, it's a problem, or if I'm taking too long, or even if I walk them to the door. Seeing Javi broke my heart because I feel like I'm only with Stacy for Javi, not because I want to be. When I wanted to leave one night drunk, she held me down, put a knife to my body and neck, told me if I leave, she's killing him. She poured water in my face, cut all my clothes off with the knife, saying, I like the way your body looks, made me be completely naked and told me to go to bed. I had bruises and little cuts on my body.
And ma'am, is this specifically the incident that you discussed at the proffer?
Yes.
Yesterday?
Yes.
Today?
Yes.
And you wrote about it on November 2nd, 2021.
Yes.
And then above, again, you had said that you're scared to even move a finger because one wrong move shall do it. And it's not a threat because I've seen her do it with my own eyes.
Yes.
What are you referring to?
Again, asked and answered.
I'll allow the question.
That, I seen him bleeding out and I was there when she killed him.
Okay. All right. And then note 5. This is a long one, is it fair to say?
Yeah.
If you can begin reading it for the jury.
I said, I was living good. I was 21 years old with 3 beautiful children, together with my high school sweetheart for 8 years. We've been living on our own since 18 years old. We both had nice cars, good jobs, but the last 8 months of our relationship started June 2020. I started to distance myself from us. I wasn't feeling loved. I was crying every night. I was preparing myself to leave. Then in February 2021, I cheated on him with Stacy. We got into it and cops were called. A whole world flipped upside down. Having to learn how to live with 3 kids on my own and working at JBS nights was rough. Learning to live without someone you've been with for 8 years was something else. I met Stacy at JBS and she made me feel like I was the most beautiful girl out there. She did everything that was missing from Javi. She started to stay with me every night after Javi and I separated. Leaving a healthy 8-year relationship, February 2021, remembering childhood trauma, learning how to heal from that, getting physical with Stacy, chasing me with her car, spitting in my face, on top of me and couldn't leave, hitting me with her car, fucked up my face to the point I couldn't even see from my eye. Lost my job April of 2021, fell into a deep depression, started to do coke 4 times a week and drink a lot on the weekdays. I would go days without eating and just drinking my pain away. It says tried to end my life a couple of times by taking pills and drinking. Started to harm my body to cope with everything. It says July. In August, I lost my apartment and became homeless. Was staying at my grandma's house here and there. Mid-August, I walked in with my aunt touching my daughter while she was asleep. In September, lost my car. At this point, I was done. Tried to end my life again. I literally felt like I had nothing. Lost everything within 7 months. Only thing I kept fighting for was for my daughter. Didn't think anything else could have got worse. But then on October 3rd, I witnessed a traumatic death right in front of my eyes. I don't know to deal with this pain anymore. It felt like I was getting better. I wasn't drinking so often. I was mentally getting better, looking for jobs, a place to stay. But this, I can't even talk to anyone about this. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know how to handle anything. I feel so numb to everything. I just can't believe any of this is happening. I'm not strong. I can't fucking do it anymore. Then I put, if anyone sees this and I lost my battle, just know I tried. I tried my hardest. I want to say I love you, Javi. Right after witnessing someone get murdered, I had a whole anxiety attack. And my safe place was laying down in the apartment with you and the kids. When I'm nervous or having attack, I think about you. You're my safe place. I felt homesick right after, and my home was in your arms. Javi, if you see this, I just want to say I'm sorry. The time I didn't see the kids for 4 days and wasn't picking them up wasn't by choice. I can't leave Stacy. I'm scared because of what she's capable of. I want to keep you and my kids safe. I've been on the down low for a reason, but Javi, just know I think about you 24/7. I crave your hugs 24/7. I'm sorry I failed. I'm sorry I couldn't be the mom and the wife you guys deserve. Just know I'm fighting every day to stay alive. I love you, Javi, and please forgive me. I know you will be an amazing dad to the kids because you are. I know you'll remind them how much I love them and that I would do anything for them. Thank you to my mom and my sister. You guys have no idea how many times you've helped me mentally and physically. I love you guys so much. You two are the only ones who supported me, backed me up to the fullest. I'm sorry because it kills me inside. Knowing if something would happen to me, your guys' world would fall apart. But please know I fought. I fought so hard. I love you guys. And to Stacy, the love I have for you is unexplainable. You've literally been by my side every step of this whole 8 months. You sat next to me while I drank and listened to me. You went out of your way to help me. We literally went through the same shit together. You slept in the car with me knowing you had your own bed. You offered to pick me up, my kids, when I had no car. To this day, you will put me first before yourself. It sucks because we both know we are toxic for each other. We never would have worked out because you're not good for me. You would have never built me into the woman I know I could have been. The love I had for you, Stacy, wasn't fake because I did love you. I will always depend your name and obviously keep it down for you. I'm sorry you met me at my lowest point in my life. I'm sorry we were both toxic for each other. I love you, Stacy. And last, to my babies, I am so sorry mommy failed you guys. Please, please, please don't ever forget that I love you. Mommy fought hard to be the best for you guys. Your hugs, your kisses is what kept me going. Please don't ever blame this on you guys because you guys were my everything. Literally my world. I love you, DeAndre, Jasmine, and Anai. I will always be with you guys. Mommy loves you so much, my babies. Tonight, while I was making dinner, literally my heart was so heavy hearing my kids laugh and playing, knowing I might not be here very long. I don't know why I wrote this, but I feel like everything happens for a reason. I love you.
Was that from October 6th, 2021 at the bottom?
Yeah.
One last thing, ma'am. There was a lot of discussion yesterday in your cross-examination about where these notes came from, if they were written by the defendant, all those things. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to come back to you with 220. And is it fair to say there are 6 pages on this?
Yes.
And I want to go through some of that. Ultimately, you provided these notes as well as the note to Flood to your attorneys. Fair?
Yes.
And I'm handing you what's 204. As to 220, instead of passing it around to each person, Your Honor, we have taken photographs of 220 by the pages so that we could go through it. I will direct her on that. I just want to make sure that's clear so that we're not passing that and then we can formally admit the pictures of it after.
That's fine.
All right, if we could put up 220 on page 1. Ma'am, is that fair to say it's pretty hard to read? Either in front, it's easier, I guess, in front of you than what would be up there, right?
Right.
You see where it starts with, "Hey, love"?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and read this, and then we're going to stop, okay, so that you don't have to read all of it after having just read that.
Okay.
Okay? Does it state, "Hey, love, I just read your letter, and yeah, I'm down to leave it in the past. Like, shit hurts, but I love you more than anything in this world, Mia Moore"?
Yes.
See that start? Remember the other messages involving Mia Moore?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That's what she would call me.
Okay.
Like my love or
And then it says, "You're my whole ass soulmate. Fuck this. Look like," and "on the Fetty Wap." Can you tell me what that means?
Fetty Wap. She just used that term.
Okay. And then it says, "I will always keep my promise. I've been told you since day one that it's all on me." You see that?
Yes.
How did you interpret that promise of "it's all on her"?
She told me if I just say I didn't see, hear, or do anything, that she was going to take the blame for it.
Okay. And so is this note consistent with the original plan of you guys saying that you, specifically as to you, that you didn't see, hear, or do anything?
Yes.
And is that consistent then with the note to Flush that you got as well that's previously been admitted?
Yes.
Then it says, "I ain't no bitch. I know all the shit that's under my belt, mamas."
Yes.
Yeah. Does she discuss people being under her belt frequently to you?
Yeah. Like her bodies.
Okay.
Ones.
"I'm just sorry you getting hurt in the process. Trust me, Ma, I do feel for you, but I'm going to fix it on my truck. I will." What's it mean, "I'm going to fix it on my truck"? Like swear on my truck?
Yeah.
What?
That's what she really liked her truck, so she would.
Okay. Are we dealing with the Chevy Tahoe? Is that what's considered the truck?
Yes.
And is that the vehicle that we saw, I guess, in the arrest video that was published to you?
Yes.
Okay. "You're my only worry during this. IDGAF about nothing else, even me." Help us out. What's IDGAF?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. And it goes, "I'ma hold it down with the Fetty no matter what. Don't feel obligated to be nice or think you gotta be with me, 'cause it ain't even like that, Ma. I mean, like, I love you more than life itself, but go be happy when you out there. Don't trip about me. I'll be cool. You know I'm down for my shit, but anyways, don't worry about it. I give you my word, mamas."
Yes.
And then is it fair to say in that letter that it changes towards you?
Yes.
The next portion says, "Tell me why I'm so disappointed in the bitch you picked to fuck with. Why?"
Yes.
What are we dealing with there?
She was thinking I was with this girl while I was in county.
Okay, and then just a moment. Let me find out. You got feelings for the bitch, LMA or LMFAO? What's that?
Laugh my fucking ass off.
All right. Let me find out you get feelings for the bitch, LMFAO, no hate if you do, but her old married ugly ass, tell me why everyone calling her, and then it goes into everyone calling her monkey boy, little ape, etc.
Yes.
Okay. And then LMFACO. What is that?
I'm not too sure.
maybe I can't read the writing. Low key, I bothered by the fact that she knew you was my bitch and she still tried. And then we go LMFAO. I ain't the one with her nasty ass. All you need to know is that I want to see no funny shit up there who you been fucking with. But yeah, I maybe dodged?
Yeah, I think dodged.
Dogged and curved hella bitches. Been in intake all this time. What is intake? Like, is that a portion of the jail?
I think at the time it was like the COVID. They would put hold you for intake for like 2 weeks. I think they had a certain pod for it.
But again, you received this letter in jail, right?
Yes.
And this is dealing about being in intake, and it's your belief that intake is part of the Weld County Jail.
Yes.
Okay. So she dodged and curved hella bitches, been in intake this whole time. So I was seeing new hoes like every 2 weeks. These hoes be thirsty, LOL, but I didn't want to fuck around on you, ma.
Yes.
Fair? So in that period, after talking about taking the blame for you, she ultimately is accusing you of being with other people and saying how she has not cheated on you.
Yes.
Flipping to the back of that page, it starts then with, until I started hearing shit, I wasn't hurt. And then I'll let the exhibit speak for itself. I was mad, like, if why that ugly hoe can just have what's mine. TF? What's TF?
The fuck?
So that ugly hoe can just have what's mine, the fuck, but it's WFU?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. But it's WFU. I'm gonna let it slide, LOL. But yo, lady or man, best stop her with I ain't these other hoes. If she get some to talk about, she can come to me because I ain't scared of none, LOL, right?
Yes.
And then right after that, is it fair that she says, bitch can be number 6 under my belt if you get my drift anyways?
Yes.
Okay. So previously you had discussed at length the fact that Miss Rodriguez is telling you that she has killed other people.
Yes.
Okay. And at the time, you had witnessed her kill someone.
Yes.
And she is telling you that's not the only one.
Yes.
Is this an example that she actually wrote this to you in jail on this letter?
Yes.
I low key ain't crazy no more. No mo. I be so calm. Laugh my fucking ass off. Just when it comes to you, I'll drag the devil himself. LOL. But tell you too. LOL, you sound different. SHM, is that shake my head?
Yes.
I was dying without you, me pinchy gordita hermosa. What's that?
She would call me that. It was like just one of her nicknames.
What's it mean?
I don't really know, honestly.
Okay. What you think about when you seen me? Do you even miss me? Who told you all that shit about me? Yeah, I gave up on life like 2 to 3 weeks ago because that little boy girl that goes to your door low-key hates me because the bitches she gets at all try and write me, but FW whoever you want, ma. Like I said, don't feel obligated to do anything. I've been good. What about you? Is that WBU?
Yes.
Okay. Ion, talk to the fam. Laugh out loud while my mom sometimes, cause Janira?
Mm-hmm. Janita, I think.
Okay. But money for the phone, I guess Victoria told her, I'm not going to read the next portion, what me and her did, so I'm assuming the low-key hate me, but when I talk to my mom, all she says is for me to tend them, she needs her car back, and that she's going to die. Do you recognize the people being discussed as being related to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And who are they?
Janita was a girl that she was with,
Okay.
and Victoria is like the sister of somebody. I really don't remember. It's like a family member, like a cousin of the family or something.
Okay. Could you tell that there was a connection specifically to the defendant and not from some other random person in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And then it goes down. She asks, how's your fam? I seen you on court walking in with your hair down, LOL. But whatever you want to ask, feel free. I love you, Mia Moore, 143, always and forever.
Yes.
Fair? I want to briefly move through this. Page 3, it's the portion written in pen. If you scroll to it, it's going to start with La Amor de mi vida, and then mi gordita hermosa up at the top. Do you see that? There's also a portion that would be blacked out. Do you see that? You'll have to unfold it, ma'am.
Yeah.
You're on the page? Okay. Talks about, I'm going to summarize some of this. I love you. I know you hate me. It eats me alive how much I've loved you. Honestly, I'll never love anyone like you. I reread your letter day and night. I ain't shit the part where you wish you never met me and you were sorry for using me because you were hurt. Got me thinking if it was even love. My love was pure with you. Goes on to talk about that she wanted nothing else but to love you and treat you like a queen. That she fought hard to change and be better. It hurts so fucking bad to hear that you hate her. So I heard about that fake ass lewd baby and your dumb ass lady maid. I broke that shit apart with her ugly STD having ass. Is that another example of where she is accusing you of cheating on her in jail?
Yes.
Okay. Go get one, bro, because these bitches, she fucked you something, shake my head, happy I ain't fuck with them, but I ain't write you to talk shit, even though she just talked shit. Is that fair?
Right.
Okay. And then she goes, after I don't write you to talk shit, well, low key, LOL, because you about to make that old ass bitch get pimp handed. Is she quite being scared? LOL. JK, I'm actually being nice. And then laugh my fucking ass off. Nah, as a whole, as a lie, I've been so mean. It's so funny. It's only because she think you in love with her. Again, is that accusing you of cheating on her?
Right.
During this time at the jail, was she controlling?
Yes.
Okay. She says she only hated me because I guess you told her all kinds of fucked up shit out me that apparently everyone knows. I just think it's crazy how the excuse you gave for cheating was that he was all that you knew in this and that, and laugh my fucking ass off. But you go fuck nasty ass JS's? Honestly, all respect lost. That hoe is over here talking about you like y'all married or something about how you was all in love and shit's embarrassing. And it's embarrassing her. Laugh out loud. She said she only hated me because I guess you told her all kinds of fucked up shit out me. Apparently everyone knows. I just think it's crazy how the excuse you gave for cheating was that he was all you knew. Go on. You're fucking with some shorty, fucking around, want to believe all the shit that she was saying, but regardless of that, you shouldn't settle for a bitch. I'd like to think you're worth more than this bitch. Talks about how you piss her off. I miss you, and then the same sentence says, I miss you more than the whip. I officially say I love you, and then she says, but clearly you don't give a fuck, and I'll be missing you 24/7. Right?
Right.
General summary?
Yes.
Okay. Any doubt that portion is written by the defendant?
No.
Okay. Going to the next page, just briefly, again, I'm going to clarify it. Starts with, but sometimes. Do you see that up at the top, ma'am?
Yes.
But sometimes I think that you don't remember who I was when I looked into your eyes. I seen no more love, like it was just nothing. Hearing your voice felt so good. It's crazy how I'm willing to lose it all, but you couldn't even be loyal like anyone else's mindset would have been to fuck that bitch. It's like that, then a fucked up letter. Like, bro, I be feeling some type of way. I still wrote you I still wrote you a whole ass love letter because I want you to keep your head up, but I want you to understand how much I love the way it felt when I was apart from you. You had me crying like a bitch. I felt like my whole life was ripped apart from me, not even my own mom get that kind of hold on me. You're the love of my life, dude. I was supposed to be with you forever. You was supposed to love me like I love you. All I want is you through all this bullshit, right?
Right.
So she's saying in this letter that all she wants you to do is be done with this,
Right.
or through it,
Yeah.
okay? Is you through all this bullshit. All I want is you to be happy, and if that means I gotta deal with Fetty, then fuck it, cause for you, baby, hell and back, thick and thin, all day, no matter what, even though you a stupid bitch, laugh my fucking ass off. I love your stupid ass, ma. Tell that bitch, and then the N-word, right?
Right.
Okay. And then it says, then does it start talking, I guess, bad about Javi?
Yes.
Okay. And does it say, I still hate him, LOL. I checked this out. No matter if you see it or not, you will one day, that N-word will never love you like I do. I'm crazy, but when it comes to you, I'll drop anything and anyone, blood or not. Yeah?
Yes.
Every single one of them, MFS, love. You're the only reason my heart is still pumping. Without you, see no point in anything. You're my weakness and my strength all in one. I just wish you realized how much I love you. Right?
Right.
And then does it go on specifically to deal with the fact that it says, I fought so hard to be the only one for you. I got my mama over here crying, saying I chose you over her, that I chose you over my whole fam, and TBH, I don't regret it at all. This love I got for you is out of this world, bro. The promises I made when I gave you that ring, I plan on sticking to my word. Okay?
Yeah.
Were there relationship dynamics involving each of your families liking the other person and this relationship?
Like my family, like our families not liking each other, or
just you guys being together? I mean, here we have the aspect of that she chose you over her family.
right. Yeah.
Was that conversations that you guys were having at that time?
Yes.
Does this further confirm that this letter was written by the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And then as this portion on this page 4, it deals with the promises I made when I gave you that ring. I plan on sticking to my word. Is that fair?
Yes.
And specifically in Exhibit 205, that was a prior text message conversation about I'll kill an MF for you, like 6 feet under, and that you're to keep that ring on. Do you
Right.
remember that?
Yes.
Would that connect that this again shows that this letter was written by this person, and that's specifically Stacy Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about that whatsoever?
No.
Okay. And then he goes down further on page 4 that I'll always love you no matter what, because the promise, it's real love. It doesn't go away like that. You're everything to me. You're like a drug to me. I'm fainting for your ass, dude. I just wish you felt the same way about me. I feel like it was nothing for you not to be around me while I'm over here losing my mind, and I still miss being laid up with your fine ass, baby. I love it. It hurts to hear all the fucked up shit about me Like, why you got to go and say some shit like that? I'm over here willing to keep Fetty and all this shit his ugly ass comes with. Do you realize all he comes with? Diapers, bottles, wipes, literally. Can you describe what's being talked about there?
I believe she's talking about Christopher.
Okay,
Objection, speculation.
okay,
All right, I'll sustain that objection and strike the witness's answer.
okay. And in terms of the aspects of what had previously occurred, doing anything for you, again, these notes would have happened after your arrest. Fair?
Right.
And then in terms of the diapers, bottles, wipes, literally all that, and picking one versus the other, would you have kids in diapers at this time?
I did have a daughter in diapers.
Okay. And so in aspects of your relationship with Javi, was that always a point of contention in the previous aspect?
Yes.
Okay. Moving to page 5 just briefly, it starts at all the time and money probably for the rest of my life when you know his crybaby ass is both our problem. You see that?
Right.
Okay. But then it says, but if you keep fucking around and disrespecting my name, I'm assign the rights over to you and see how the fuck you like it. So your family could really have a reason to disrespect my name. Fair?
Yes.
And specifically it said how TF you like it. How do you interpret TF?
The fuck.
Okay. I love you more than anything, but don't play me stupid more. Show me some respect and loyalty. I'm not asking for your love. I assume you're far from that. But honesty, your actions are making me change my decision. So at this point, I love you enough to set out rules. Don't ever, ever, ever disrespect my motherfucking name again, and respect me enough to not fuck with no one like that. And trust me, I'll find out. When you go back, you gonna cut your fucking side, bitch, lady, ugly ass, dyke, 100% off. Don't sit with the bitch. Don't look at the bitch. Don't breathe around the bitch. Understand?
Yes.
Then it talks about unless she's worth it, and then it says her or your main threes. How many kids do you have?
3.
I trust that you'll make the right choice. Throughout this time, did you feel like your family was threatened?
Yes.
I still can't believe you let a bitch like that fuck you, bro. Then you wanted people to watch her fuck you? You a whole different type of hoe. One more mistake and I'm gonna I'll drop all my problems in your lap, understand? So funny how you sat in there, told me, don't take anything personal from here on out, in quotation marks. Remember that letter? Laugh out loud, bitch. How about if I tell you that? Knowing damn right what the fuck I'm gonna do for you, and yes, you, cause that could change, okay? Did you interpret that as a threat?
Yes.
Is there a way not to interpret that as a threat?
I don't believe so.
And it goes on, how fucking stupid you sound and look. You say that talk shit about me, then go fuck that ugly bitch? You need to learn self-respect. And if you like it or not, you're gonna put some on my name. If I love you so much, I really do. But you can't keep doing this cheating, fucking around, talking shit, making me look bad. You did that out there too much, motherfucker. Much in that's gonna change while you sitting in there. But moving on, I hope I've made myself clear.
Right.
Did she make herself clear?
Yes.
Moving on, later in that paragraph, switches back. She talks, I hope you know my loyalty runs with you and always will, no matter what we go through, no matter what type of way you feel about what mood you're in. You're the love of my life, and my heart will always belong to you, and you only. We've literally been through everything together. Laugh my fucking ass off. That's all on one page.
Yes.
And finally, ma'am, the last page talks about, it starts when you pull up to human being. You see that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Drink your coffee, love the fuck out of you, laugh out loud, thank you for all the good memories. Please don't hate in your heart. You're more than that. You're so beautiful in every way. Yeah, we was on some dumb shit with each other, but no matter what, I love how you made me feel. Where are my whole world? You're all I ever think. You ran through my fucking mind. Right?
Right.
Goes on to say, all day, all MF day, amor. I've been having dreams about you. I hate it when I wake up. I want to stay in them forever. I wish I could be with you forever. All I ever wanted to make you happy. Hopefully someone will. I miss you so much, stupid. I hope you miss me too. Shake my head. And then it transitions. Says, how are you holding up, though? I hope well, because I know you not a little...
There's no question.
I'm just reading the exhibit.
What's the problem?
All right, that's fine. Mr. Praley, you can continue. And if there's specific things that you're referring to, will you just clarify her where those are located?
I will. And then specifically at this point, it says, how you holding up, though? I hope well, because I know you not a little bitch. And this female saying you would be on some shit in her room said it was all because I put you through this. Or put you through, is that true? Specifically in that, is it referencing the fact that other people are talking what you have been through because of her?
Right.
And then she finishes the letter by saying she loves you. You're the best female she's ever had. Is that fair?
Yes.
And again, do you believe this was written by the defendant?
Yes.
Now, you had previously referred to the fact that in 204, the note to flush, that specifically referred to what as a name?
Baby Joker.
And you've testified at length as to Baby Joker.
Right.
You heard the defense cross you on the fact, well, she just refers to this as Baby or Joker, right?
Right.
But not both. 204 shows you that on the note to flush.
I'm going to object to mischaracterization of questions and evidence. I never asked her about the word Joker.
All right, I'll overrule the objection. Ladies and gentlemen, you as the finders of fact in this matter, is it up to you to determine what the evidence has shown in this case? Mr. Pralia, go ahead.
Is it again your testimony that the defendant referred to herself as Baby Joker as shown by that note?
Yes.
On this last page, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, do you see the writing at the very bottom?
Yes.
What's it say?
Baby Joker.
If we could zoom in on that. Do you have any other concerns that this was written by the defendant?
No.
Those are my questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Devereaux, actually, can the parties approach? right, Ms. Devereaux, go ahead and proceed.
Yes, please, thank you. Good morning again. Okay, let me get set up. I appreciate it. Okay, so I want to start this morning sort of where Mr. Perelia left off. And this note, Mr. Bros, can you zoom back in to where Mr. Perelia had it, please? Let's do right here, this area, I think was where he had it. Thank you. Perfect, thank you, I appreciate it. Ma'am, you testified, Mr. Perelia, on redirect regarding these jail letters that you believe to be from Ms. Rodriguez, right?
Right.
And as we talked about originally, the Weld County Jail does not have like an inmate-to-inmate postal service, right?
Right.
And so you would have had to get these letters from another inmate, right?
Right.
And it's actually against the rules to be doing that, right?
Right.
And with Mr. Perelia, you testified that these letters, and we heard it, threaten your children.
Right.
Your interpretation of that was, right?
Right.
Your family.
Yes.
And as we've seen, we've heard, you took these purported threats very seriously, right?
Yes.
There's something that deeply impacted you, right?
Right.
And you have these letters threatening your 3 children's lives.
Yes.
No one matters more to you than your children, right?
Yes.
And you believe, according to the testimony of Mr. Perelia, that she means business, right?
Right.
Because she had just killed someone for no reason, right?
Right.
You believe that she's killed multiple other people, right?
Yes.
You now believe she's in gangs, right?
Yes.
And yet you don't tell a single deputy, police officer in the jail, hey, my kids' lives are in jeopardy here.
I did tell my lawyers.
That's not
when
my
they came
question.
and saw me.
That's not my question. You never told a single police officer, right?
Yeah, not a deputy.
And not a single police report was ever made, right?
Objection, Judge, against scope, is this one of the 4 categories?
I think this goes into what's been, what the court has described as the 404B abuse general category. So I will allow this questioning.
Thank you.
Right?
Right.
Not a single police report. So your lawyers weren't like, hey, oh my God, my client's kids are in jeopardy. I better call the police and report this so the police can look into this, right?
Right.
Then we see, I just picked this portion of the letter randomly because it was up last. And, Your Honor, can I have the pointer listed,
I
please?
think it's up there. Is that right? Oh, I'm sorry, the deputy has it.
Thanks, Sally. Appreciate it. So, ma'am, I'm showing you, there's some really, you may have a microphone. Just
Oh.
Thank you. So we see that the handwriting has a very unique way of doing eyes, right? These circles,
Yes.
and it's throughout jail letters that you claim are from Mr. Rodriguez, right?
Right.
Ma'am, you wrote quite a bit of letters going through, let's say, your initial arrest until your proffer, right?
Right.
And I mean letters coming in and out of the jail, right? To your
Yes.
family and friends and loved ones, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you would recognize those because you wrote them, right?
Yes.
So, ma'am, what's interesting about these letters is they're your handwriting, right?
Yes.
Right. And what's interesting is if you look at, and I'll show you in a moment so you can agree with me, the way you write your I's up until April 4th were always just like a regular dot, right?
Right.
Not this circle, right? And I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
But then come April 4th, that changes. And I'm going to ask to approach and show you right now, okay?
Okay.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Fairly in advance. Yeah, I don't think we have because they're not in discovery. Sure. Let me just read the ones I'm going to show her. Easier. May I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, ma'am, so let's start with this letter, okay? This is a letter you wrote to Javier, right?
Yes.
And there's your name at the top left corner of the envelope, right?
Yes.
And Javier's name has two I's in it, right?
Right.
And there you can see the I just has a dot.
Mm-hmm. One of them. Yes.
It doesn't have one of those big circles, right?
Right.
And we know that this letter was written on April 12th, 2022, right?
Right.
Because you dated it, right? And this is another letter for your son, right, DeAndre?
Yes.
And then we have another letter you mailed Javier, right? There's your name.
Yes.
And again, Javier's name has an I, right?
Right.
No circles, right?
Right.
April 12th, right?
Yes.
Then you wrote your friend Karina Avila a letter, right?
Yes.
And again, that's your return address and your name.
Yes.
And Karina's name also has a couple I's, right?
Yes.
And the I, the dot for the I is a big circle, right?
Yes.
Just like those, right?
Yes.
And the date of that letter is May 29th, 2022.
Yes. Wait, can I see that? This letter?
Which one?
This one?
There's a date.
Because none of those they're dotted, right?
Right, it's just
Okay.
this letter,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
And you wrote this envelope, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Raskin. Okay, now, should I- Okay, so I want to start by talking about your testimony yesterday about how the abuse got worse after October 3rd.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Dickerson's death. As you spoke about with the prosecution, you went into these specific events with Mr. Burrows during your proffer.
Right.
And with him, you described an incident that happened back in September with a car. Do you remember that?
Yes.
An incident where you were using a bathroom in a park in Evans,
Yes.
and you claimed that Stacy told you to hurry up,
Yeah.
and that Stacy drove your car onto the grass in the park,
Right.
and that you described it to Mr. Burrows that in the moment she's driven her car onto the grass and she's yelling at you to hurry up, and you were, quote, just like thinking about your options, right?
Right.
And you described this pretty dramatic scene where it's an open field, no trees, right?
Right.
And you flung off your flip-flops, put your phone in your bra, and you just took off running, right?
Right.
And there's just houses all around, right?
Yes.
And you described this very dramatic scene of her essentially chasing you down in your car in the field, wide
Yes.
open field, right?
Yes.
And you described suddenly falling and thinking you were going to get run over.
Right.
And then you described to Mr. Burrows during your proffer that she's revving the engine and screaming at you to let people call the cops because it was all on you,
Right.
right? And then you described to Mr. Burrows getting hit by the car twice.
I've gotten hit twice by her, but this one incident was just the one time.
Okay. And you told Mr. Burrows specifically, quote, she bumps me with my car and I go flying
Yeah.
and I twist my ankle.
Yeah.
And then you dramatically describe her pinning you with your car against another car, right?
Against the fence.
You described to Mr. Burrows in your proffer, quote, she ends up cornering me with my car and another car that was parked right there.
I remember it was against the fence. There was a car parked right there, but when she cornered me, it was up against the fence.
Do you recall telling investigator or Detective Burrows back on June 8th, 2022, she ends up cornering me with my car and another car that was parked right there?
I believe it. I mean, if I said that, I did, but I remember being like up against the fence. There was a car right there, but
Right.
it was cornered.
And that brings me to my next part, which is you said you were describing trying to figure out how to jump over a fence or jump on a car.
Right.
So, ma'am, you're telling this jury that after October 3rd, it got worse than that?
Yeah. She's never physically pulled a knife out on me and threatened.
But you're saying she hit you with the car and you went flying.
Yeah.
And not one person called the police. None of these other houses that are around this park are like, oh my gosh, this car is driving, chasing this poor woman. They're going to kill her. No one called the police.
No.
And also, you told Mr. Burrows that you even described the headlights being on when this is happening.
Yes.
And yet, not a single police report or call-in was ever made.
No.
And now there's this like, well, there's multiple cars. I've been hit by a car multiple times, right? And again, not a single police report was ever made by anyone, right?
Right.
And you testified yesterday that you told this jury, oh, my lawyers just set up the proffer. They didn't do anything else. They just facilitated it, right?
Right.
Your lawyer, who's been sitting here all day and all yesterday and the day before when you're testifying, has been actively helping the prosecution during this trial, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know that she went and talked to your sister who was sitting back there a couple days ago and was asking her questions about what my investigator asked her to give a note to the prosecution like this.
Objection, may we approach?
Sure. All right, I will strike the last question and answer, and Ms. Devereaux, you may proceed.
So now we're talking about you, thank you, Judge, being hit by 3 different cars.
2 cars.
2 now,
Yes, I never said 3.
okay? So let's go through that a little bit, okay? There's, when you described to Mr. Burrows is an incident with a car where Stacy hit you with her car in April around your birthday,
Right.
right? And you specifically told Mr. Burrows during the proffer, that is, on my birthday, that's when she hit me with the car, period. Not actually hit me, period. She didn't run me over, period.
Right.
So that's one incident, right? Where you
Yes.
originally tell Mr. Burrows during this proffer that she hit you with her car, but then you kind of come back on it and just left. So that's one incident, right?
Right.
Then you describe the incident in September in the field that I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
And then there's what has been, or actually, let me ask you this. You've mentioned a couple of times you tell information to your lawyers and they go investigate it, right?
Right.
And so then there's this like third incident with a Nissan Altima that your legal team provided the prosecution, right?
Objection again, same question.
Give me just a second.
I'm trying to clarify how many times we're talking about it.
If you're clarifying the number, I will allow the question, so go ahead and proceed.
Thank you. You can answer that.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sure. Then there's this like third time involving a Nissan Altima that your legal team sent the prosecution
Right.
about. So 3 different car incidents that you've been hit by.
I wasn't hit by that car. We were driving and we were arguing and she pulled the steering wheel. It was my sister's car and I put a dent in it. But I clarified that with my lawyers to make sure, because I was only hit by the car twice.
Okay.
2 different cars, not my sister's car.
Okay. So the abuse got worse from that point is what you're saying, right?
Right.
And I kind of want to take a moment and kind of do a timeline. I want to start with, you told Investigator Burrows that, and again in your proffer, that the abuse started really, at one point you said March, and then it turned to beginning of April, right?
Right.
And then we have this car incident that happens in April. And then you actually told Investigator Burrows at one point that the abuse got, again, this is during your proffer interview, that the abuse got worse over the summer as well. Do you
Right.
remember that?
Yes.
Now, you have been shown Prosecution's Exhibit 212. Those are the 5 notes, right?
Yes.
But you wrote more notes than that, right?
Yes.
Including a diary note on June 26, 2021 that says, quote, I love Stacy. She's helped me through things no one ever could have, exclamation point. She's seen me at my worst, exclamation point. She saved me, and saved me is in capitalized letters. So many times.
Objection, can we approach again?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, ma'am, we can pick up right where we left off. So you wrote on June 26, 2021, quote, she saved me, and saved me is capitalized so many times, exclamation point, exclamation point. She was there when I felt alone, exclamation point, exclamation point. Only her would stay up and actually listen and care, exclamation point, exclamation point. She helped me through so much, exclamation point, right?
Right.
Then a second note, and this one is dated July 7th, 2021. Again, during the same summer that you told Investigator Burrows during your proffer that the abuse again got worse, right?
Right.
And this note is interesting because, and I'll show you, because you had actually deleted this note at some point, right? Does that sound familiar? Or you want me to read it first?
I don't. No, you can read it first.
Okay. The note has a title actually, and it's called Letter to Stacy, July 7th, 2021. And you wrote, quote, I realized you never put me first. I relied on you for a lot of things. In the beginning, you told me, quote, I will get 3 jobs to support you, and you never even paid a single thing. You bought groceries twice. You basically just watched me struggle with my mental health, my bills, my house being a mess. I was at my lowest these past 5 months, and you never once pushed me to do better, never once motivated to do better. It was hard seeing you lay around and eat in bed, so it made it okay for me to do it. I'm not blaming any of my shit on you because it's my fault I let it happen. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
That's a note that you deleted, right?
I don't remember deleting it, but
Okay. Would it refresh your memory to look at a Cellbrite report that actually says in bright red letters under a category that says deleted? Yes.
yeah.
May I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, now I'm showing you the Cellbrite report. It's from an Apple iPhone. You can see a column that says deleted. And when I go to the letter to Stacy dated July 7th, 2021, you can see in bright red letters it says yes, right?
Okay. Yes.
So here you are, again, telling Investigator Burrows that the abuse is so bad during the summer, and you write out your complaints, right?
Yes.
And your complaints are that the audacity that she lied to you when she said she would work 3 jobs to support you, right?
Right.
And the audacity that she had to only pay for groceries twice at the age of 19,
Argumentative.
I'll allow the question.
right?
Right.
How dare she at 19 years old not pay for your things, right?
She was living with me. It should have been both of our responsibility at the time.
But this is what you were mad at her about in July.
In that moment, yes.
And you're mad at her that how dare she lay around in bed and eat and make it okay for you to do it.
Right.
You're blaming her for your choices to sit in bed and eat and gain weight, presumably, right?
Right.
You're mad at her for the fact that your house is a mess, right?
Right.
You're mad at her that she's just watching you struggle with your bills and not doing anything about it at 19 years old.
Yes.
You don't mention a single thing about abuse in any of these notes until October 3rd, right?
I don't know.
Do you want to look through your entire Cellbrite note report?
I believe you. I just was talking in my diary, you know.
I get that, but you also told Mr. Burrows during your proffer, again, we have to put in the context of a proffer interview,
Right.
it got worse in the summertime.
It did.
And nothing in here indicates that. Instead, you were just deflecting your problems on this 19-year-old kid,
No.
right?
No.
Then Mr. Perelia asked you quite a bit, or we saw the purported text message about Javi, or her waiting outside of Javi's house, right?
Right.
And you told this jury, and you're again leading everyone to believe that you believed Stacy was going to kill him, right?
Right.
That she's so crazed that you had the audacity to go to the father of your children's house that night, that she's waiting outside, right?
No, that's not what that picture was about. I had left her house and she assumed that I was going straight to Javi's and I was on foot. So that's why she went over there and was saying, come out, and she thought I was there.
Again, but the point of Mr. Perelia asking you that, and your answer to this jury was to suggest, correct me if I'm wrong, that she was following you to Javi's, right?
No.
Okay. And we've also heard a lot of testimony about how she was really jealous about Javi. You testified to the jury that Javi, you were worried about Javi being killed, right?
Yes.
And that you experienced, actually, I think you were actually testified that she couldn't get to you anymore through all these DV violent episodes, so now she's turning to Javi, right?
Right.
But ma'am, she knew the whole time that you were still being intimate with Javi,
I was still in love with him, yeah.
being intimate with him, right?
I was like 4 times throughout our relationship, yes.
Okay. And at one point, she actually buys you condoms or give you a condom for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm showing Mr. Perlia what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit RR and SS.
I'm sorry, give me just a second. RR and SS?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
May I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
Ma'am, do you recognize what that is?
Yeah.
What are those?
It's a screenshot of Stacy's messages.
And you know that because you took that screenshot, right?
I see her name, yes.
And you took them, right?
Yes.
And there are screenshots that fairly and accurately depict the message at that time between you and Ms. Rodriguez, right?
Right.
This time I'd move to admit RR and SS and request to publish.
Any objection to RR and SS?
No.
All right, the court will admit into evidence RR and SS, and you may publish at your discretion.
Thank you. Okay, so it should be right over your right shoulder if that's easier. And here you were asking her where she's drinking at, right?
Yes.
And she's like telling you, why are you so worried? You're with someone else, right?
Right.
And the other person was Javi.
Right.
And she's telling you, be careful, buy condoms, right?
Right.
And you say, ew, just seen your snap, have fun, right?
Right.
Because she was out doing her own thing, right?
Yeah, she was with her other girlfriend.
Right. And she told you, quote, I put one in your purse,
Yeah.
meaning a condom,
Yes.
because she knew you were going to go be intimate with Javi.
Yeah, I think she was just being dumb.
Okay. She knew you were being intimate with Javi.
Yeah.
And your response was not, you're dumb. It was, thank you, love. We have some, heart, heart.
Yeah.
Can we move to the next one, please? Can you take that down? Yes.
To be clear, we're publishing something that's not supposed to be up.
Can you, okay, it looks like we got that fixed.
And her response is, great, exclamation point, right?
Right.
And she's telling you here, don't be petty. We're just friends, meaning whoever she was out with.
Right.
Because you were jealous of who she was out with.
Right.
Even though you were off doing your own thing with Javi and she's supporting it. Right?
It looks like she's supporting it, but I know how she was.
That's
and
not-
just being, right.
Can she get to answer the question?
I was stopping talking.
Does she get to answer the question or not? That's all I
think-
want to know.
I think she answered. Ma'am, was your answer complete?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And just so we're clear, she's telling you, you made your choice earlier. Don't give me shit. Right?
Right.
There's nothing in here that's her being mad at you going to hook up with Javi. And she put a condom in your purse, ma'am.
Right.
Thank you. So, as we've heard, there's been a lot of discussion about all of these domestic violence incidents, and I kind of want to start in reverse order, and so start in October and work our way back to earlier time periods throughout the relationship, okay? Just to orient you. So again, what I'm going to be going over with you, just to clarify for the jury and you, are all the incidents that you disclosed to Mr. Burrows during your proffer.
Okay.
Okay. In October, you told Mr. Burrows, the end of October, there was an incident where as we've seen and heard, you say that she poured water on your face and punched you and took a knife to your throat, right?
Right.
You told Mr. Burrows specifically that the timing of that incident happened a week before your dad's birthday, right?
Right.
Your dad's birthday is when?
October 25th.
25th,
Birthday.
right? And again, she's punching you, she has her weight on you, she's cutting cuts all over your body, right?
Right.
But yet 2 days before then, just 2 days, October 23rd, you two get actually pulled over by the Greeley Police Department,
Right.
right? During a traffic stop.
Yes.
There's officers on scene, right?
Right.
And they don't say, oh my gosh, ma'am, you have injuries all over you.
It was 2 days before the incident, right?
So you told Investigator Burrows this incident happened a week before your dad's birthday on October 25th.
Right.
October 23rd is not a week before the 25th. You would agree with me.
Yeah.
So police are seeing you, right?
Right.
Trained police officers who know the signs and symptoms of domestic violence, who aren't just, correct?
Right.
Who aren't just going to be like, ma'am, you have all these injuries to you. You're fine.
No. I never said she punched me, but she did put the knife up to my neck, and I did have scars on my body.
But you did. You told Investigator Burrows in your proffer that she was punching you during this incident. Right?
Right.
You also described drinking during this incident, that you were both drinking during this incident, right?
Right.
And then you talked to him about an incident in September, the car in the park incident, right?
Yeah.
You told him then you were both drinking, right?
Yeah.
Of course, then you backtracked and said that you weren't drinking, she was drinking
The night of when she hit me with her car.
in Evans Park in
Yeah.
September.
I wasn't drinking that much. I was drinking, but I wasn't that intoxicated that night.
Right, because you first told Investigator Burrows we were drinking, and then it changed to, well, really wasn't, right?
Right.
And then in August, there was another incident that you described to Mr. Burrows about how you got a black eye,
Right.
right? And ma'am, you take a lot of selfies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you took a selfie on August 17th, 2021, right?
Right.
And that selfie, it's not like with the Facebook messages, it's a screenshot. Like we actually know when you took that, right? Because of the metadata.
Yeah.
Would you recognize a selfie that you took in August of 2021?
Yeah.
Showing the prosecution TT1 and TT2.
TT 1 and 2? All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. May I approach?
Yes, go ahead.
Do you recognize that?
Yes.
And then TT2, which is on the underneath, is just the metadata. Can you take a look at the data on that, please?
Yes.
And the metadata for that is all of the same, right?
Yes.
Meaning the created, the modified, and I forgot the third option, but they're all saying August 17th, 2021, right?
Right.
And that's a fair and accurate depiction of the selfie that you took on that day, right?
Right.
Request to admit and publish, please. TT 1 and 2.
Any objection to those exhibits?
No.
All right, the court will accept into evidence TT 1 and 2, and you may publish at your discretion.
And while that's getting set up, ma'am, the August incident that that we were talking about, where you said you got a black eye, again, you told Investigator Burrows, quote, "I really don't remember. I was drunk."
Right.
Can you zoom in a little bit, please? So this is TT, right? This is the selfie that you took in August,
Right.
right? And I fully recognize that you didn't tell when, Mr. Rose, when in August, right?
Right.
But this is the middle of August, right? And we don't see any black eye, right?
In this picture?
There's no black eye.
I mean, I see my eye pretty swollen.
You see your eye swollen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually black eyes don't form until it's like the end of it. I don't know if you've ever had a black eye, but that's
Actually,
what
funny, I
was
have one right now.
really, I can't see them.
Yeah. And you took this selfie, right?
Yeah.
You never took a picture, a better picture than this of the black eye in August?
I don't remember if I actually took a actual picture.
Okay.
I know I have like videos and stuff that I took with my black eye.
Okay. That wasn't anything you gave to your attorney to give to the prosecution to give to us, right?
We talked about it because there's the hospital things and you know what I mean, like the report, and I told him about the plan where I was gonna tell my family
So,
that I
I'm
got
gonna-
jumped.
Right. I'm gonna get there, okay? My question was, you never took a better picture than this of your black eye in August, right?
No.
Can you take that down, please? So that's in August. And then there's also another sort of a distinct episode that happens at the Clarion.
Yes.
Remember that? That was at the beginning of your relationship.
Right.
Okay? And you described it to Mr.